Hi guys, welcome back to episode 20 of In the Vault with Ali and Shane. We are 5 months in, doll.
It does not feel like 5 months. No, it really has gone so quickly. I was talking to my sister about it and she's like, surely you haven't been doing this for that long. And I was like, no, we have. It comes around so quickly every week though. I'm like, I haven't done anything for the podcast.
I know. It's like we're both scrambling. I already had a few stories carved out, but like I always feel like on the day as well, there's like something else I want to talk about or there's another little thing that comes up. But doll, episode 20 comes with some highs and some lows. Dead. I mean, not lows. I think highs. Highs that we've gained international traction.
So what Shane's alluding to is, you guys, we have a correction from one of our podcast episodes. We were talking about the pay differences between the off-campus cast members, and the showrunner for off-campus commented on our Instagram and said, hey, by the way, these aren't correct. So we just wanted to come on and say it was false information.
We'd seen a few people talk about it, and shout out to Louisa Levy. Thanks for commenting on our post.
And sending it to the media.
Yeah, and sending it to the media. Let me tell you, Ali and I have been around the block. We know a little PR takedown when we see it. We know a little story bury when we see it. That's so fine. I'm actually flattered that she decided to choose our video, which had half the traction that some of the other videos had. Yes. I thought it was really bizarre, but in saying that, I'd seen Louisa had commented on a few of the other videos and she was perhaps a little bit more direct and forward, and I think our response was a very nice response, and I think it was very gracious and kind of her to be kind to us.
But there was a reason why it was so kind, because she was sending it to the media to just indicate that it was incorrect. She wanted to squash the story that there were pay differences between the cast.
Correct.
That being said, she did all of that and then didn't give us an answer on what they were paid or if there were pay differences. She didn't say any of that.
No, she didn't. It was kind of an answer, non-answer.
Mm-hmm. So what is it, doll?
There's still a big question mark around it. We don't know the answer. We don't know if there is a pay disparity, but what Louisa did say in her response is she fights for gender parity within the cast and she put a love heart at the end. So, you know, power to her. I think that's fantastic, and we love a female showrunner that's grabbing the industry by the balls. But we still don't have the answers. But shout out to E for covering us. Shout out to Bustle for covering us. Shout out to The Wrap for covering us. Entertainment Tonight. Just Jared. Yeah, I mean, we would have loved the tag. When I saw one of the articles, I messaged you like in a panic, as I do as a publicist. I feel like whenever you see something as a publicist, your first resort is panic, and you were like, don't sweat it, we'll be right.
Water off a duck's back, doll.
But doll, on off campus, I literally saw 5 minutes before we were jumping on this call. I mean, we know how that ends, usually. The previous comment. But I saw Raina Thomas, who is Belmont Camelli's long-term girlfriend. She's put up stories on her Instagram on the 14th of July, essentially saying, please stop messaging my family members. They are so confused. Write in your diary, then go on a walk instead. And then the second frame showed a quote from the show Community, with Raina altering the text to say, I can excuse racism, but I draw the line at DMing my distant cousins. So it's clear off the back of this, she's getting a lot of fanfare, and it seems fans may be contacting her family about, obviously, Belmont Camelli, because she said, I love that you're like interested in my boyfriend, or like you can be obsessed with my boyfriend, but don't contact my family, essentially.
I think this is really interesting because this was actually an issue with a lot of hockey smut in the book sphere as well. So, for example, a lot of the hockey teams had to come out and be like, hey, you're contacting these people who have very real families and children. I know you might think that they're good looking, but they're not interested in you. So please stop causing a ruckus and interfering in their lives. And I'm guessing that this is sort of something that's flowing on to off-campus the show as well.
Correct. And how far is too far? Raina's not even on the show. It's her partner that's on the show. So why do you feel that you have the right to contact her family? And B, what do you think you're going to gain from it? What's the point?
Yeah, most to be like close to someone, I guess. Like they like the feeling of closeness. that that person's connected to that person, and maybe that person has met Belmont before, or I don't know how these people's minds work.
It's that weird like parasocial relationship. And I mean, we experience a little bit of the fandom in our experience, but they're die hard, they're ride or die.
As someone who has worked as a content creator in beauty, I have had my fair share of people being nasty or commenting towards me or giving their opinion. And
Your
honestly,
infamous YSL video doll.
Yeah, it is really, for me, water off a duck's back. But this is almost when you're talking about pop culture, it's a whole new beast. People are very, very diehard for a certain celebrity that they love. And that was probably something that I wasn't personally ready for, because I actually am not super diehard person for anything in my life.
Yes.
So
Yeah. I'd love to say I generally sit at a baseline of like uninterested and unenthused. It takes a lot for me to be really, really interested by someone. And I know you rag on me about the Zendaya piece, but that's why probably with Zendaya, finding a way into every episode, that's why it's like...
No, I'm so sorry, but I edited the last episode, and after we had that whole sit-down conversation about, hey, she's not going to get included, I was editing and I was like, that dick, he's found a way to talk about it.
Now it just has to be a thing. Now I just need to find a way to include her in every episode. No, but, you know, it's like, it's very rare that I get very interested in someone or something. So... yeah, I don't really understand fanfare to that level. 100%. On that note, doll, another thing that you mentioned, Heated Rivalry, the whole hockey, smart, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if you saw this viral video. It was all over page 6. I saw it come up 1,000 times on social media. But Hudson Williams in a little bit of hot water again because he confronts fans or a stalker or paparazzi in Paris. So he was heading from a location back to his home, and these people followed him from said previous location to his home. He then confronted them and attempted to essentially light a photo on fire that they had handed to him. Yeah, and started like swearing profanities and like essentially said not to follow him, which once he did that, they said they would stop, and then they laughed, and then they kept following him. So
that's
I
hard.
think, yeah, again,
very hard.
100%. I think this is a case of like, he did ask them multiple times to leave him alone, and they continue to follow him. I think the anger and frustration is justified. I think the way he perhaps went about it was wrong, because I think now it can be weaponized against him.
I do agree to a certain extent, but if you get that daily and it's something that maybe you haven't been used to for in your life, and then just constantly being hounded day in, day out, it would be very hard to keep your cool, and it must have just been the straw that broke the camel's back. I know it's
100%. I think we are all guilty of acting in a moment's notice out of character. I think in this era of social media and in this era of people having recording devices everywhere they go, I think we need to start humanizing celebrities more. Historically, we've never had this kind of access to celebrities before. It was usually through photo or rarely through video. It's only really in the last maybe 10 to 15 years we've had this level of connectivity with celebrities. So I think there needs to be this shift towards humanization of the celebrity and understanding as consumers or fans that people are only human. Yeah.
I agree. They're put on this pedestal, and I think you just need to respect someone's boundaries. Like, honestly, how dare you go up to someone and when they tell you to go away, you don't give them that privilege. That's fucked.
Doll, on a lighter note, Big W, what do you think it stands for?
What?
Big W.
Big win?
It stands for Big Woolworths.
Oh.
Don't you think that's crazy?
Does it?
Yeah, it does. So I saw this girl post about it on Instagram, and she was like, I was today years old when I realized Big W stands for Big Woolworths. And I was like, that's crazy.
What do you think Kmart stands for?
Well, Kmart's Americans. That's different.
It's the founder's last name, Prestige.
Oh.
Bit uninteresting.
Prestige Mart.
Prestige Mart.
I think that's quite chic.
Sutherland Mart.
I've just never thought of the W. Did you ever call it bourgeois doll?
No, doll. But I have called Target Target.
Target. That's standard. It's
Yeah.
Target bourgeois. That's the thing.
Yeah. And what do you
Yeah.
think?
Kmart. How do you fancify Kmart?
Can I say Target, which I know is also owned by Kmart now, they kind of
Yeah.
like intertwine their stuff, has great bedding.
Great bedding doll and amazing women's fashion as well. As you know, I'm a former Target employee. They turn 100 this year.
Do they? He'll be getting a letter from the king.
Ah, should be.
Why did I assume that Target was a he?
Sexist. Yeah, I think, have you seen their fashion lately? I'm seeing it all over TikTok. They're really killing the women's fashion. I've got a few jumpers from the menswear, just active weary jumpers, and the fleece is so nice.
Well, I was actually at a cafe the other day and I said to the lady behind the coffee machine, I was like, wow, I love your jumper. And I thought it was Aj. So I was like expecting her to be like, thanks, it's Aj. She was like, thank you, it's Kmart. And I was like, no way. Is that Kmart?
Yeah.
And she goes, yeah. Go have a look, honey. You've been missing out.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Actually, can I talk to you about something while we're on the topic of shopping? Mm-hmm. Phoebe Gates.
Oh, hit me with it.
Okay, so if you don't know, guys, Bill Gates' daughter, Phoebe Gates, and then her friend... Look, we all forget the friend. What's her name?
We always forget the friend.
Sophia Kiani. So they actually just got caught taking credit for online sales that they never made. So if you don't know, Fia is a new shopping app and it actually raised $43 million US from a multitude of investors like Alex Earl, Jessica Alba, Hailey Bieber. Which, side note, can we talk about when they launched their investor list, that they kind of launched it as if it was like a concert set list? And
It was crazy. We spoke about this because it was a lot of the celebrities that were at the forefront, but it was actually all these amazing philanthropic women who were donating the most money that kind of got sidelined almost.
Well, we don't know how much money that they actually invested, but it is interesting that they put a lot of the celebrity at the top in the big bold font like you would do a main act, and then a lot of the business women they put at the bottom people that weren't as renowned or well known. And then there was an and more bit, and I was like, could you imagine investing and you were an and more?
I reckon there was a tiering system, doll. I reckon if you're an and more, you've given 50k.
So essentially, to give you a bit of background, Phoebe Gates and her mate Sophia, they were uni buddies at Stanford, and they created this podcast called The Burnouts, which, if you think about it strategically, they've created the podcast to gain momentum for Fia, which is their business. The way the app works is if you install it, it finds discounts for you, and Fia earns a commission every time you buy something.
Fia finds similar things, if you want something, it might find a bag that's similar for a quarter of the price. I've seen it do that as well.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Bloomberg actually tested Fia on over 50 shopping sites and found that right before you check out, Fia swaps in its own tracking code. So commissions that actually belong to the creator went to Fia instead. They also were falsely advertising that people purchased things through Fia when they didn't, but Fia ended up saying that it was a coding bug and they fixed that within 24 hours. This isn't Fia's first big drama, honey. So last year, allegedly, if you downloaded the extension, if you went onto your bank, they could see all your banking information. If it was on a screenshot, if you went onto your emails, they could see all your emails. Every single web page anyone went on, if they had that extension downloaded, they could see what they were doing. So Fia actually claimed that doing this was to see where people were shopping and if people were using the plugin to shop, but really they were just taking full screenshots of everything you were doing to know user habits.
Yeah.
You would end up knowing what their foot traffic is. So say they get the email, maybe the email was from Fia, or maybe the email was from a brand, pushing a sale. What did they do next? Did they go straight to the website? And then what did they do? So
that's right.
That's a lot of stuff that's often left unanswered. With data. So I get why they did it, but that's very cheeky and very sneaky.
Yeah, naughty.
They were
naughty
also,
Phoebe.
And Sophia.
And Sophia, sorry.
But, they were also caught, not paying their content creators. You know, obviously they're like, hey, look, we're a startup who raised $43 million, but whatever.
Yeah.
And we can't pay you at the moment. Or they'd say, we can pay you this, but then in the contract, in the really fine print, they'd say, we will only pay you if you get X amount of views.
Wow.
Which is very cheeky.
Yeah. They're not the only brand I've heard that's doing that lately, doll, where they're like trying to essentially say, we won't pay you unless this video does X or this video achieves Y. As we know from being on the inside, when a brand gives you a brief, you essentially have to follow that, or there's sometimes flexibility and they offer you a counter brief or whatever else. You're essentially set up for failure if the brand isn't giving you a guideline to help drive virality.
I just think it's a little bit shady boots. Shady
Shady
dolls.
boots. I have some sad news. MJ, the matriarch of the Kardashian/Jenner family, or Mary Jo Campbell, passed today at the age of 91. Don't you think 91's wild?
As in old or young?
Like old. I think to hit 91 is crazy.
Oh, my man's 97.
Don't you think? Oh my god. But like 90s, I feel like it's like anything past 85. MJ?
I thought she
MJ
was going to be in her hundreds, just sort of still kicking.
And can I just say, she looked amazing for 91. I can't believe it.
But, you know, actually, it got me thinking. MJ looks 91. Yes, she looks amazing. But you tend to treat people who look older as their age. Whereas, for example, Kris Jenner, who keeps getting facelifts, you kind of forget that she's older. So then when she hits her 90s, which I think she will look older, but you kind of will forget that she's got a shorter time span left.
I think it's so beautiful that she got to share, that she's had to share so much of her life with her mum. Like, I would love to get to 70 and my mum would still be alive. She'd be like 104. I get you. It's like optically you're not really seeing the aging process. But on that note, doll, so Kim Kardashian had a post go live on the 17th of July, which was the same day that MJ passed, and she was on vacay with Khloe, her kids, and some of her girlfriends, and the post was obviously getting mixed feedback because the news had just dropped via Kris that MJ had passed away, and there were people being quite cruel in the comments.
Like, I'm going through enough. Actually.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Kim very, very quickly swept in, and I kind of saw this morning, and she said, the post was scheduled a few days before we lost MJ, so its timing came right alongside her passing. I've been by my mum and my grandma's side this past week, and my heart is completely with my family right now. We love and miss her so deeply, and in the days ahead, we'll be focusing on celebrating her beautiful life. First and foremost, I think it's like no one's place to speak on what anyone does with their time, let alone if Kim was actually on holiday when this happened. I know Lisa Rinna really famously speaks about filming season, I think 10 of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, which I think is one of her last seasons. And her beautiful mum Lois, who we got to witness and experience on the show, had passed within weeks of her going straight on a trip overseas for the show. And her mum had died within weeks of that happening. And she was like, it was so intense, but it was also like an amazing moment to get away and kind of recalibrate and be away from the craziness and the madness of it all.
I think people grieve in completely different ways.
Doll, I've been on a bit, and I don't know if you've been across this, but I've been on a little bit of a deep dive about the Margaret Qualley and Jack Antonoff breakup. So I'll give you a very brief rundown. They were together for nearly 3 years and they divorced this month. The news broke literally days after Lena Dunham's memoir, Fame Sick, revisited an old, unnamed teen pop star anecdote from her own relationship with Antonoff, which fans have long assumed refers to Lorde. The timing reignited an 8-year-old fan theory, complete with viral 2018 PowerPoint deck, that Antonov and Lorde had an emotional, if not physical, allegedly, affair during the making of her 2017 album, Melodrama. Which is a great album, by the way. They did a great job on it. So, doll, I've put a little bit of a timeline down because it's quite hard to keep on top of. So, 2012, Jack Antonoff and Lena Dunham begin dating. 2014, Antonoff meets Lorde, who is at the time 17 years old, and they meet at a Grammys after party. So then we jump to 2015 to 2016, Antonoff and Lorde write and produce her second album, Melodrama, together. Much of it's done in Jack Antonoff's home studio in Brooklyn, which he shares with Lena Dunham.
Oh.
In her 2026 memoir, Famesick, Dunham writes about coming home to an unnamed teen pop star who calls her Aunt Lena, weeping into Jack's lap while he comforted her, and recalls FaceTiming Jack from her dying grandmother's hospital bedside to find him similarly ensconced with the same young star in their apartment studio. Something seems off. Yeah, it's a bit
Jackie
weird,
boy,
right?
you should be with Lena.
Yeah, you should be with Lena at hospital.
Why is she crying so much? Why is she crying?
Well, Melodrama doll. She sounds a little bit melodramatic, if you ask me. Melodrama's released with critical acclaim. Fans later comb its lyrics for a hidden breakup narrative they claim is about Antonoff, not Lorde's actual boyfriend at the time. Jumping to late 2017, early 2018, Dunham and Antonoff's 5-year relationship ends, her rep confirms the split, and Antonoff tweets that he resents important friendships being reduced to gossip, meaning there's obviously whispers that him and Lorde are more than friends. Yeah, so that spring, so Q3 of 2018.
If we're getting financial.
If we're getting financial. A Twitter user known as Hillary publishes a 29-slide deck, Lorde and Jack Antonoff, an emotionally broken journey, arguing Melodrama is secretly about an emotional affair with Antonoff. It spreads from the Facebook group to Who Weekly to Twitter to coverage in Mashable and the Daily Dot, becoming internet lore as the Lorde PowerPoint. Did you hear about this PowerPoint doll? I did not.
I didn't, but can I say, usually where there's smoke, there's fire, and can I tell you, it is actually insane to see how people connect the dots. I feel like I'll watch something or I'll see something and I won't even sort of think of a certain narrative. And then there'll be people who'll be like, oh, did you see that? And then connect it to this. And then we'll do this. And they're doing all their own detective work. And it always ends up being right.
I know. Or close to the fire. Yeah, it's like they're always very close to the fire, if not in it. This whole episode, by the way, doll, is very like sleuth-coded.
Oh. Get your sleuthing hat on, doll.
I'm dead.
2025.
It is. Biggest bullshit of 2025. Ali Rose Gray. 2026, I'd say, as well. But...
And 2027. Coming up.
So Antonoff and Lorde then reunite in 2021 for her third studio album, Solar Power, which is a flop.
A total flop. Sorry.
Look, I will say
Allegedly.
I like allegedly. Well, I think critically as well, doll. I think there's one song that I like. It's like Something of the Sun.
Scrutiny. Yeah.
It was. Big old flopper. And then August 2023, Antonoff marries Margaret Qualley in an intimate ceremony on Long Beach Island, New Jersey. And then obviously this memoir, Famesick, comes out in April, where Dunham revisits the PowerPoint and the whole scandal. And then officially on July 8th, People confirms Antonoff and Qualley have mutually separated after 3 years of marriage. The news lands shortly after Antonoff attended Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's wedding without Qualley. So that was a big topic a couple of weeks ago as well. There's this overarching theory that Margaret Qualley is the ultimate girl's girl. So to give you some context, she'd previously dated Shia LaBeouf, who we know is a very contentious and controversial person. So she dated him roughly late 2020 to January 2021. Their relationship ended right after his ex, FKA Twigs, filed a lawsuit accusing him of relentless abuse, including a whole slew of things that I won't cover in the podcast. Qualley publicly backed Twigs at the time, telling Harper's Bazaar in September 2021, "It was important to me for her to know that I believed her, and it's as simple as that." And then she's very quickly decided to leave Jack Antonoff quite shortly after Lena Dunham's memoir came out, kind of exposing him allegedly having an emotional / maybe physical relation with unnamed pop star that he was working with at the time. So this has kind of been taken from a two-prong approach online. So some people are saying, amazing, Margaret Qualley is a girl's girl. The other side is saying, why is she only coming out and defending these women once these issues are exposed?
She might not know.
That's what I mean.
Or
She might be none the wiser doll. I think if I found out something really horrible about my partner, that would obviously be enough for me to leave them. But if I didn't know prior, how would I know?
It's always the ones that kind of look a little bit like an underdog. You know, you're a little bit like, oh, you seem like it's the nice guy.
Yes.
You know? Oh, he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. Well, he's not, obviously.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he's kind of cute in like a 2012 typo kind of way.
Yeah, he gives me indie.
Okay, can I just say something really funny? Actually, that connects to what you were talking about the other week when we were talking about Taylor Swift's wedding. You know how your favourite best dressed was Gigi Hadid in that gorgeous pink little number.
In that tight pink number, yeah. That little snatched pink number.
Well, so Gigi Hadid was in that really beautiful hot pink Wiederhoft dress at Taylor Swift's wedding. This dress has done the rounds, honey. Call it the Sisterhood of the Travelling pink dress. Because
the girl in the pink dress.
It's been worn by so many people. So it first was in September 2024. Brittany Snow wore this dress to the Emmys. And the thing about this dress, and I'm not saying it's the same dress, but maybe it is.
Yeah.
Everyone looks good in it. So in September 2024, Brittany Snow wore the dress to the Emmys. In January 2025, Annabelle Wallace rocked it at the 2025 Golden Globes.
Okay. That's pretty close timeline. That's a pretty tight timeline, hey?
It's about to get tighter. January 2025 again, Shabana Aziz wore it to the Pitt premiere.
Okay.
But also in 2025, Sabrina Carpenter wore it on her Vogue Short Report segment.
Okay.
But it wasn't a red carpet, it was on Vogue.
Yeah.
And then in April 2025, Chloe Kim wore it at the Time 100 gala.
Okay.
And then obviously Gigi Hadid just recently wore it as well.
Yes. Yep.
So, I'd say that that's quite a lot for...
And Sabrina Carpenter would have been at the wedding as well. She would have been like, I wore that first. Yeah, that's getting pumped. I mean, great PR for them. I think, and look, it is a stunning dress. It's gorgeous. I get it. Everyone looks like a 10 in the dress. It feels quite timeless and classic as well. Thanks so much for joining us today, guys. I can't believe it's been 20 episodes. That's so shocking to me. Guys, to celebrate this milestone of 20 episodes, we are going to be doing a little beauty getaway. Ugh, getaway.
Getaway?
You're all going to Paris. No. We are doing a beauty giveaway, and that's going to be at the value of $1,000 or more. Huge. But as you know, Ali and I are both beauty insiders. I'm a beauty publicist. She's a beauty content creator. And we just want to use this moment to give back and say thank you for all the amazing support we've received over the last 5 months. So keep an eye out on social media. So guys, head to Instagram now because the giveaway post is live. Make sure you comment and like the post. If you share it, you also get an extra entry into the giveaway. And also, before we go, we usually don't ask, but we would love if you could give this episode 5 stars. Please leave a review on your favorite podcast platform, whatever that may be. And we will see you next week. Thanks, guys. Ciao.